Alright, so good luck, both players. And yeah, if anybody has kind of any updates on the other match, sure to drop them in the chat. So I don't watch that one instead of this one, because I don't know, I'm pretty invested in the outcome over there. But I mean, here we are. I mean, by the time they get to transition, that other match will already be over, because these two players are kind of better than those two players. So they're probably not going to top out before them, but you never know. Stranger things have happened. It could go to a decider. Here we've got Andy, 70,000. Nenu is at 72,000, and Kingsman has spoilers. I'm open for spoilers. I guess it's already over. I don't know if everybody else is. I don't think anybody else is still here. I think they all went over to Pumpy's stream. Game 4 is no more. Harry survives. T-Storm is relegated to Division 6. Oh my god. Harry will be in the playoffs. So he's not safe. He's hanging on by a thread. I picked T-Storm to win that division, but thankfully I only lose one prediction and for that, and I don't lose more points for him being relegated when I thought he was going to win the division. Thanks for the raid, Pumpy. We just heard spoilers. We are up to date. The Great Escape continues. Well, the beginning of a Great Escape earlier here today with NGC Man. But he has a long way to go in his miracle run of people choking and capitulating, so he somehow survives. Probably not going to happen. We've also got Skip Logic on the edge again this season. Is he going to get into the playoffs again? I'd put money on it, even though it's not looking very likely. I'd still put money on it. Andy, 223 is falling behind in pace here to Nenu, who's at 324. Nenu with a really good pace going on here early on. It's establishing a bit of a lead he might need for later on. So Andy, it's definitely got some moves that he can deploy if need be on kill screen. Nice little delayed burn set up here by Andy. If it was another player, I'd be freaking out right now, but it's Andy, so I'm not even panicking. He'll get this down. He knows what he's doing. Anybody else would have topped out with that board, but he has 21 long bars. Yeah, that's not a lot. Nenu has 34. So RNG maybe trying to make this season a little bit more of a climax, maybe, than it may otherwise end up being. But I guess we'll see. Nenu, he wants to even the ledger a little bit. He's been getting beaten up by Andy for the last little bit. Everywhere they play. Every time it really matters. I guess it doesn't matter that much for Nenu today, but he still wants to win. Matters for the elo, for the cred. But Andy's closing in on world number 1 status. If he closes out the season with 2 wins, he will retake world number 1. Or retake, he's never had it. He will ascend to world number 1, I believe, on Sunday against Dog, but he's got to get through Nenu first, and then I don't think Dog is just going to lie down. and let that happen. We saw what happened when LXT challenged Dog's #1. He took it away briefly and Dog just exploded. He did not take very kindly to LXT taking away world #1, and I dare say he probably doesn't want Andy to have it either. Andy 443, Nenu at 513. 533 rather, but it's a little misdrop. And his long bar is starting to catch up just a bit, and Nano transitions at 545, Andy at 468. So a bit of a lead here for Nenu, but Andy is starting to close the gap already. He's got a better board. Here's Tetris ready. Oh, he rotates the T kind of the wrong way there. He saw it late. Has to take a few more burns, but Andy gets the Tetris. And he's doing a few little burns here. Gets Tetris ready again. 555 for Andy. 632 for Nenu. Nenu earlier today. Not having everything go his way, but he's hoping to turn it around here against Andy. Andy is, oh no. He still has a way out of this, but it's a very narrow pathway. And it's not looking too good for Andy right now. But my goodness. Oh, he gets those pieces so high on the left, on the right, and there is no way Andy gets out of this, and Andy has dropped his 3rd game for the season. Nenu is on the board, and you would think anybody else in that situation, you would think, well, they're done. But Andy, he had some chances there to get out of that. And he almost did. Nenu up 1 game here to 0, and keeping Dog's chances alive, I guess, to win the division. So, I mean, they're hanging by a thread already. So, my goodness, wouldn't it set up a showdown for Kingsman to scream over if it did happen? And Nenu, he burns the start here, but he has got a Tetris and he has cleaned his board up, and he does crucially get that J piece to the left, so he's looking pretty good now. And Andy also, this is looking good. He had to wait a few more pieces than he would have liked for that J, but he does get it, and it's at 95,000. Tetris ahead for Andy early on. And yeah, pretty smooth sailing here. Nenu deciding not to burn that double, and he gets rewarded. I mean, it probably wasn't a choice for Nenu, but for me, I probably would have taken it because I'm not a Division 1 player. And I'm not comfortable building that high, but this is pretty normal for a player like Nenu, especially when you're playing Andy. So he's gonna play the way that he plays, trying to get these 600k transitions that you need to get these days to be competitive. Both players on a pretty strong pace early on. Andy's still with a slight lead, a little bit over a Tetris now, but under 2 Tetrises. It's going to have to do a few burns, which will allow Nenu to catch up and potentially even take the lead here if Andy is caught in this. And Andy with a misdrop out of nowhere, and he would like some help here from RNG. He's sort of getting it, makes the S-spin, but doesn't reopen the well, so it's going to be doing a little bit of damage control now. And he gets the well back open, would like an S. Oh, was that an adjustment with the square for the orange juice there? It looked like a misdrop, but I think that was an adjustment, because that worked out really well for Andy. Yeah, initially I panicked when I saw that lead of an adjustment, but no, this is Andy. He's got it under control. It is breakfast time for Pixel Andy. He's had his orange juice. And will he, I don't know, what other adjustments? What other breakfast-themed adjustments are there? I haven't read the dictionary lately. He's setting up something. It's a delayed square tuck. Probably doesn't have a name, unless Chilla did at one time. Andy is 373 now. Nenu 400,000. Nenu with a few burns of his own here, but he is caught up in pace and actually ahead in score, but not really in pace. They're pretty neck and neck. And they are now 15 lines from transitions, so we're about to see another game head to post and see what these two players can do. And yeah, they keep getting better. I think everybody gets better the longer they play. It's just relative to everybody else, like these kind of players. You feel like you're going backwards. Nenu transitions at 519. Andy gets the Tetris. He doesn't get the Tetris. Transitions at 516, but with a clean board. So neck and neck. Andy just getting a little bit of a drought here at transition, but he's handling it so well. Never loses Tetris readiness, never gets into any danger at all, really. So many players would just stack up for that Tetris and pray and then top out. But these players are too good for that. They know when to take the burns. They can get the points on 19, it's no problem. They can get the points on 29 these days, especially Andy. Nenu, a little bit of a slower tapper, so he doesn't get quite as many points on the post transition. At least yet. He might sort that out at some point. Who knows? Andy used to be a DAS player. He couldn't play post at all, and now he is one of the better kill screen players. 746 for Andy, 746 for Nenu. Andy ahead by 400 points there, I think it was. Now they are separated once again by a single. Nenu now a couple of Tetrises ahead, but he's 8 lines ahead, and Andy is going to get both of the Tetrises. They are neck and neck. Nenu now ahead by 600 points. He must have got some doubles there or something to change the lead. And Andy only got singles. But now Andy reestablishes the lead. And Nenu caught up in a little bit of burning there for a while, so he's now dropped just a little fraction behind in pace. But yeah, he must be feeling the pressure. Andy with some trouble in his stack, but he cleans it up, and he is still Tetris ready, and he's still able to burn, and he's waiting for that long bar. He gets the long bar. Andy 949, Nenu 955, and they are tied in lines. Andy got another Tetris meanwhile, so Andy with about a Tetris lead here in pace. He's 10 lines from transition. Nenu does not want to burn here. He's not getting the long bar. This is unfortunate time to get droughted for Nenu. Really unfortunate, and it's just no long bar at all. And Nenu is going to top out at 969. Nothing he could have done there. He needed all 3 Tetrises, and even then it wouldn't have been enough, and the game did not give him the long bars. So Andy with the it wasn't a 1.2, was it? It was just a 1.1, right? Yeah, it was just a 1.1, right? Or it wasn't even a 1.1, it was a high peasant max out. Not even 1.1. Oh my god. We had a Division 2 match here earlier. Double 1.1. Just whatever, you know. No big deal. 2 players, one of them probably like half of you haven't even heard of before. Just whatever, you know, 1.1. Anybody can do it now. Both players, I can't do it though. Not even in a match, not even out of a match. Isn't that depressing? These players can just do it on command now. Whenever they feel like it. Qualifier 1.1. It's a failure if you qualify and you don't get a 1.1 in qualifying these days. If Ben Vermeer gets a 1.1, and before me, I'm retiring from Tetris. You heard it here first. That will be the breaking point, I think. How could you continue on? It might actually motivate him though. Who knows? Got to be careful with these kinds of definitive statements. You'll never know when they might come back to bite you. So 1 game all here. Both players pretty difficult to separate so far. It's mostly been RNG doing the separating. And Andy having some troubles. He gets the JPs he needs, and oh, that was a really good decision by Andy. I would have put the J to the right there, and I would have been in trouble immediately. But he knows what he's doing, and I do not. There we go, Andy is getting things back under control. So the split-second decision-making at this height, it can so quickly just all go to pieces. But when you are this good, you've been in this situation so many times, and you know where to put the pieces. And you have like these like lightning reaction times. Nice adjustment with the J there by Andy. And he gets it all cleaned up. 137 for Andy, 193 for Nenu. So he has built a bit of a lead from that dig for Andy. I have a few months left before Ben Vermeer gets the 1.1. That's good to know. I can start spamming 1.1 attempts then. It's something I don't really do often enough, is actually try to PB. Because most people... Oh, nice little square tuck there by Nenu. Haven't seen a lot of that kind of thing yet from Nenu today, but it didn't really help him in the end, so maybe that's a good thing. And oh, Andy with a misdrop immediately gets the T-spin in to fix it though, and won't be a problem. Takes the Tetris before filling the line dependency. He might try to turn this into a Tetris, but he's probably, he's not going to build up row column 2 with that piece to get Tetris ready. That's probably a wise decision. So see a lot of a lot of lower division players would have just gone all in, Tetris ready as soon as possible. Andy is not taking that risk, and Andy's better than them. So maybe could learn a thing or two. You know, sometimes you just have to be a little bit cautious. Not put all of your eggs in one basket too early on in the game. Andy 305, Nenu 367. And he still got the Tetris, so I mean it didn't even matter in the end. He got the Tetris and he had a cleaner board. And he didn't have a J dependency. So it all works out. Nenu 328. Now with a nice board again. Nenu at 413. So head in lines. Andy catching up. Andy 3 Tetrises behind now. Nenu with a little bit of burning to do. He could do it with 2 burns, and he does get the correct pieces to do just that. Oh, and yeah, didn't want to spire that high, so he will take a couple more burns. Get the right side back open. Again, a lot of players would have taken that risk, and a lot of players would have hung that piece, and that would have been a very good idea. So both players very aggressive, but also taking the necessary burns when they need to. And they're both looking at a mid 500k transition. Andy, maybe a low 500, a 519 for Andy. Nenu will transition ahead. He's got 2 more Tetrises available. Is the game going to give him the long bar though? Doesn't look like it. He'll probably get one of them. RNG willing, but he's not even going to get that, and transitions at 537. Finally the long bar comes, but yeah, Nenu did transition ahead by about a Tetris still. So neither player got the final Tetris into transition, and both players have pretty good stacks right now, so they can play well into transition here, and they'll both be hoping to maintain this efficiency all the way to kill screen. Andy up pretty high right now, gets the long bar, gets another one, back-to-back Tetrises for Andy. And Nenu also firing. Nenu 40,000 points ahead, 3 lines behind. So a pretty strong advantage still for Nenu. He's actually extended it since the transition, and he's actually had less long bars than Andy as well. It's not a lot of long bars for Nenu. He's using them pretty effectively. There were only 5 less. I guess the timing is more important than the number of long bars. Nenu 813. Andy 751 now. So it's now a 60,000 point gap. Nenu, nice adjustment there on the J. He didn't want to make the line dependency there, and wisely we'll just burn this down. He does still have the lead, but it's going to evaporate pretty quickly here. Andy gets the long bars, but Andy getting droughted. This is, oh, it's pretty Monka S, but he gets the long bar just in time. He's had to make 3 holes, 3 separate columns. How quickly can he clean this up? And very quickly is the answer to the question. That did not take very long. He has to take another triple to get it back to the right well. 837 for Andy. 863 for Nenu. Nenu is behind by 9 lines though. He's got a few lines to spare, but he has a hole in the stack. So that is going to cost him all of those lines, and they're pretty much neck and neck now. Nenu is now ahead by 10,000 points and is like a few lines behind. So we got the Tetris. Nenu with about a Tetris lead now. And his board's getting a bit messed up into 28. He's building on row 3 now. Gets the Tetris. Will he try to burn this down for kill screen, or is he going to go for it? He's going to burn it down, and he's going to go for it. He's going to do everything. He's set up for a Tetris 952, but he's going to need kill screen points because Nenu's got 2 more Tetrises available. He gets one of them. So he's a Tetris ahead, and he's got 1 more available, and he gets that one as well. So Andy now needs basically 2 Tetrises worth of points in kill screen. He is away, but he is human. Let's see what he can do here. A62 is the target, but no, he's not going to get that T over. And those final 2 Tetrises for Nenu did the trick. And he did what he needed to do. He got it back down. He gave himself a chance to get the points on kill screen, but the unfortunate RNG early on 28 there is what ended the game for Andy. So a story of unfortunate sequences, and well, Andy is he's not home here. He's 2-1 down, and who knows, there could be a final twist in this season still if Nenu is able to close this out and avenge his loss to Andy in CTWC semi-final, the CTM final or semi-final, I don't remember. In CTL, I believe the last time I don't remember. I remember they played on the last day of the season. That's when Andy last won CTL. Actually, it was against Nenu in the final match of the season. Andy won 5 matches in a row on the final day of the season, the speed run, as it were. That season, the only season that Andy won, in fact, before his retirement. So would be a little bit of symmetry if he did it again, but Nenu doesn't want that to happen. And yeah, when that happened, when Nenu, my goodness, when Nenu won CTL, Rhubarb says he was in Division 6. That was his first season, and now Rhubarb he came 5th in Division 1 this season. So what a transformation. What a difference. However long that is. What is it, a year? It's probably not even a year. It's probably like 10 months. Goodness me. And yeah, thanks for the link in the chat, Fabio. That is the Matcherino. And you can contribute there for free, actually, if you log in and click on the sponsor quests on the right side. You can scroll down and click on as many things as you want, and then you'll get like some dopamine or something. It'll make you feel good. You're giving money to these two players. Both of these two players will be receiving a portion of the prize pool, as they are both confirmed top 4. And it's just a matter of where they're going to finish now. Nenu getting up a little bit higher here. He's going to take the safety triple. He's got his board back into a healthy state and takes a couple of Tetrises. 223 for Nenu, 258 for Andy. Yeah, Rhubarb started in 6. That's crazy. I didn't even realize he was 6 alumni. I thought, okay, I guess he is. So he's probably the best player ever to be in Division 6. Andy originated in Division 5, but that's probably when there was less divisions. So it's about a Division 6 equivalent, I guess. He receded up the ranks and eventually won Division 1. And Andy is in a spot of bother right now. Oh my goodness. He's getting kind of bailed. But is he going to continue to get bailed? Nice decisions by Andy. Really, really good decisions up high here. He's still in the danger zone. He's got to stay alert here. Gets the wall back open once again with like an L piece or a long bar. Oh, he gets both, but not before a misdrop. He can clean this up now, though. He's got the board down. It's just a line dependency. And he takes some very smart burns there. Oh my word. Andy just showing off some of these moves here, but gets into a little bit of trouble. Once again, takes another smart burn. He knows which lines are going to burn and which ones aren't, and he is putting the pieces in the right places. It's a lot harder to do at this height. If you make one mistake, it will all be over, and he cleans it up. 374 for Andy, 482 for Nenu, so 100,000 point lead opened up just like that, but Andy survived. Andy kind of hanging on now. He's getting into dangerous territory here. If he doesn't close this out against Nenu, Dog is going to have the opportunity to close that gap against Dog and set up a showdown against Jake, rather, and set up a showdown on Sunday. Imagine if Dog choked against Jake. I mean, the way Jake's been playing, it's pretty unlikely. If you're given that opportunity, I think he's going to take it. So Andy, he's got to do something here. He is behind by about 80,000 points of transition. And Nenu 611, level 20. Andy 568. Nice vits for Nenu there to keep his board clean. And he is a few lines ahead, so Nenu will be constantly about a Tetris worth of lines in the past, and is still ahead by 40,000. So still a 70,000 point pace lead or thereabouts here, and he's getting a couple more Tetrises. It's putting the pressure on Andy right now. 720 for Nenu. And he's playing perfect Tetris right now. A little bit of slowdown here, perhaps. If he doesn't get the right pieces, he will have to take a double. another double. But there you go, Tetris for Nenu, and Andy's also playing perfectly. Andy's closed the gap somehow. Just those 4 burned lines by Nenu was enough for Andy to find a way to close the gap ever so slightly, and actually takes the lead, but he's ahead in lines, so they're pretty close in pace still. Pretty much neck and neck in pace now. Andy maybe with like a 5,000 point lead. Oh my god, he closed that gap so quickly. And now he's got a hole in his stack though. It is under a Tetris well. See how efficiently he transfers this. He's going to take 3 burns to transfer it back down to the right well. Nenu 9-11. He's back in the lead and behind in lines. So Nenu now with about a 1 Tetris pace lead. It's pretty difficult to gauge though. He's behind in lines at any given point and slightly ahead in score. So it's pretty neck and neck, and both players know it. They're playing as efficiently as they possibly can right now. Getting into the business end of things. And this is when you need the board to stay as clean as possible, and Nenu's just getting a few little complications here. He's gonna want a couple of long bars, and oh, this is not looking too good for Nenu. He was trying to stay too efficient. He's getting the long bars. He might get it open for one more Tetris, but Andy's at a 1.12 right now. And Nenu is gonna need like a Tetris on kill screen. Andy is still playing. Nenu cannot get any more pieces over. And Andy is still playing. He got another Tetris there, I think, when I wasn't looking. Just to make sure. Andy is insane. And he is good. What? Did he get 2 39 Tetrises or just 1? I was watching Nenu. Andy is playing pretty good right now. He did not want to lose that game. And Nenu's got to be wondering, what do I have to do to beat this guy? Max out at 1.1. What do I have to do? It's going to a decider. And Andy, for the second time this season in a decider, he has swept every other set. He swept 8 players this season in Division 1. And he has been to a decider once against Fractal. For the second time here against Nenu. That's how good Andy's season has been. So Nenu, just to take him to a decider is an accomplishment in itself. But can he end the perfect season here for Pixel Andy? Is he able to find something? Of course, Fractal also in the top 4. And Dog yet to play Andy. That will be on Sunday. So all of the big players proving that they are indeed the best. And they can take it to Andy. Andy in a little bit of a situation here. He's got to be careful. That was a nice L placement. A lot of players would not have done that, and they would have been in all sorts of trouble, myself included. And he knows what to do. He's out of danger. I got to learn how to stack from Andy. Wait, my stacking is like so 2 years ago now. It's like I learned how to stack from Joseph, really. From Tyler P, which was Joseph as well. All of my stacking came from the same person, and it's just derivative of Jonas's stacking, which isn't very, it's literally 101 stacking. This is Andy. Andy is not doing 101 stacking right now. He's doing something else. Gotta learn from this guy. And Nenu, well, Nenu's stacking. I don't know if a DAS player can get away with Nenu's stacking. So there's a few too many tucks and things involved there for me to keep control of things. Andy 146, Nenu 153. Andy with a slight pace lead, sort of, if he gets the Tetris, but not really. He does get the Tetris. Gets the Z spin as well. So Andy 195, he has turned it into a real lead. Nano 178 with a bit of a mess to clean up, but he should be fine. I wanted that L one piece earlier. It's gonna take a little bit longer to clean up for Nenu, and yeah, he's gotta be careful not to hang a piece on the left there. That Z was a little bit scary, but he gets it over. And Nenu looking good again now. Gets the Tetris back to the right well. 231 for Nenu, 266 for Andy. Yeah, I mean, that is true, Rhubarb, but stranger things have happened. Fractal has had a crazy season. I feel like Dog hasn't really... He's kind of been phoning it in this season, and he's still only lost one set. I mean, that's how good Dog is. And he's probably, you know, if Andy slips up here, Dog is going to turn it on. I think he's probably going to turn it on either way, because he doesn't want to lose to Andy. And Andy knows it. Andy probably doesn't want to leave it up to that happening. He is so close to the prize here. Nano getting a little bit of a situation here, but it's tucking the pieces in. Line dependency, gets the line pretty quickly, and Nano will attempt to cleanly burn out of this. Sets up a line dependency again, but gets the line. So pretty helpful pieces there for Nenu eventually. And he is at 383, but Andy at 479 now. So Andy is playing perfectly through that little section, and he now finds himself up by around about 70,000 points. 20 lines from transition. So Andy is where he wants to be right now. He's kind of got it in his own control. 29 long bars for Andy. Just looking over, what the hell? How does he have this pace with Well, I'm trying to calculate, is there even enough long bars to have this pace? 553,000 with 33 long bars. Who is this guy? RNG. People that complain about RNG, just watch this game. My god. Andy. Nenu's transitioned at 502. Nenu's getting up high here. Gets the long bar just in time. Andy's getting droughted. RNG is saying no right now. And he is looking... Oh my god. He's on the edge. I don't think he can get a piece to the left. He cannot get a piece of the edge, and Andy is going to top out at 565. Nenu has a chase down here. Nenu is not there yet. He needs to get to 566. 566,000 points. Nenu can line this out. He doesn't need to do anything crazy here. He can avenge all of the defeats here and send everything to a Kind of a Monka-esque finale, I guess. He needs to get another 10,000 points. 565 here. Andy, he's done. Nenu gets the triple, and that will take it. Nenu gonna set up for the victory Tetris here, probably. But he takes the first set off Andy, and the perfect season is done. Andy's still in the driver's seat. Dog is here. Dog is happy. Dog now can taste victory. He has a chance. He is alive. He's still behind. He's still gonna start behind Andy on Sunday. And depending on how many points behind, it may still be a very, very, very hard task for Dog if he's able to